Hi, you guys. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I am a psychologist, and I help people navigate their spiritual awakening. And all of life is a spiritual awakening. So let's get into it. I just woke up, but I lost my voice when I was in Costa Rica. See that picture behind me? That's what was pouring into my spirit this morning. And I just got this calling to get back on here and make a video, a teaching video. Because a real man protects a woman. A real man protects a woman. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful revelation that's coming to me right now. It's just so sweet in my spirit and my soul. I was just praying when I woke up and just was saying, God, help me get out of my mind and stay in my heart, stay in my spirit. What do you want to speak to my heart? And I kept getting this idea. This is just how I'm putting it in words. But that a real man protects a woman. And so when I was in Costa Rica, this woman came up to me and helped me. I don't remember how the conversation started. I usually felt like it was my job to be present with other people and give them whatever I could, because it was a group of supportive people. But maybe this was just a gift back to me, and I receive it. And we were talking about something personal in my life. And she was saying, why don't you see that it's safe for you to be a woman? It's safe enough for you to be a woman. And so I've been saying that in my mind the past few days. But what it brought up is, and this is in our collective, so I'm living out what's in the collective consciousness, is I grew up, imagine, this is what happens, this is how systemic it is, okay? So apply this to your life. I'm only sharing this stuff so it can be applied to your own life. I grew up where my dad never thought he was enough. Guess what happens when you never know that you are enough? Because you are a soul here. You are consciousness. Where's my Teresa of Avila quote? She says, Christ has no body now but yours. Christ has no arms now but yours. Oh, here. I have it right here. Look, I printed it out. One of my friends sent it to me. He's passed away now a long time ago. I mean, just a year ago he passed, but he sent this quote to the group. Christ has no body now but mine. He prays in me, works in me, looks through my eyes, speaks through my words, works through my hands, walks with my feet, and loves with my heart. Okay, so what does it mean to truly love, right? If my dad didn't realize, he didn't know this, he was taught it, of course, and in a really structured, boxed religion, but he didn't know that he gets this opportunity to be a soul here. And so out of his unworthiness, not feeling like he ever measures up, and he's talked about it publicly a lot. He's written 100 books. Go try to figure someone who's trying to measure up. And he would say that because his dad, he showed his dad the first book that he wrote. And he said, well, this other guy, Bill something, wrote 100 books. So now my dad, I saw, I haven't spoken to him in 14 years or more, 15. He's written over 100 books now. Was on Oprah and all that stuff. But also, when you have this idea inside that you're not enough, then you keep looking outside for other things to fill you up. And guess what that does to a marriage? Guess what that does to a little girl? Guess what it does to your daughter? Your daughter is, because I have a sister and I have brothers. You don't get this sense right there. Christ showed me one time in a meditation that he is this man to me. He is it's called the storm. He is the protector of me as we walk through the storm, you know? She can walk freely. She hardly has any clothes on because the man is there protecting her, you know? She can be vulnerable. She can be in her body. That's what that woman was talking to me about how it's safe to be in your body as a woman. Well, guess what? You know, when the men around you don't know that they are enough, God made them enough. God gives them everything they need. You are magical. God gives you every single thing you need to fulfill your duty, to do what it is you are called to do here. If Christ says, yes, come and walk on water with me, then do that. He will give you every ounce of power to do such as you begin to get out of the boat and do that. Well, this whole past year and a half or more has been me getting out of the boat to follow where Christ has called me to go. And if you're not a Christian or you don't understand it like that, don't worry at all. Look at it like a metaphor, you know, totally, because it's just it's a matter of aligning. St. Augustine said the thing we call Christianity, there was a religion before that, and we only called it Christianity once Christ appeared. So don't worry about that. I'm not messing up anyone's faith, but there's no way I want you to continue pursuing a faith that limits God. And I grew up in the Christian faith, but I never learned all of this stuff that I had to learn from getting out of the boat. Making waves, as Latoya was saying in a different video the other day. Make waves. God wants you to make waves because there's no way I was meant to keep living the way that I was living before, okay? So the way I was living before was I got used to a man. I watched what a man was from how my dad lived it out with my mom. And in that way is, you know, in a lot of ways, she allowed herself to be a doormat and to be stepped on. And that was just internalized in me. So it didn't feel safe to be a woman. And so I was like a cheerleader and very feminine, but I was a gymnast, and I played soccer and I could skateboard, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be, and I went to school and got my doctorate. And there were all these ways that I was more like a boy or something, because I didn't feel like it was safe to be a woman, and it wasn't safe to trust myself with a man. And even I attracted men like Elliot, you know, whom I dated briefly, but was just a dear friend outside of that, you know, but I knew I didn't want to date him, and I refused to date him if he was doing drugs or an alcoholic or whatever, because I didn't want to compete with an addiction. I wasn't going to do that. I knew I would be second in his life. I will be second in someone's life if they're yielding to God. That's fine, you know, that's different because you're yielding to something that brings you up, that empowers you, that shoots you up like a rocket ship, you guys. Your power, you have so much power in you, and you dissipate it by believing lies. So this is for women and for men, is the men, you dissipate your power, you give it away by believing lies, by believing you are not worth this calling that is on your life to be everything you can be, to be Christ on this earth, to be a soul, live in your heart, live fully, create, be artistic, be powerful, be creative in your work, be protective of women. And I don't mean this in any kind of chauvinistic way, like a woman. I just mean like, okay, so if my dad never felt like he was worth, then what's he going to do? He's going to keep looking external for things to make him feel worth. And look what men are called in this world. And we are not of this world. We have a higher calling. We have a royal calling. But look at what the men of this world are called to. They're called to, you know, buy more cars, like get a hot wife, have sex with lots and lots of random people, like build up your ego that way, build up your sense of power that way. Look at pornography so that you have some fake woman giving you power and saying, yeah, you're protecting me, but I'll take my clothes off for you. No, like, it's like she has her clothes off back there in a different way because she feels safe and protected, and there's a storm and they're walking through it together. That's a different kind. That's a whole different kind of a beautiful intimacy that is only safe to enter into when people align. And so this whole time, I like didn't want to even date because I see that now. I mean, I would date some people, but I was really careful and full of care. And if a man is going to, oh yeah, I got this song this morning again. Um, there's a song called Hell and Back. I'll have to do a video on it for my soul songs. I have this soul songs thing coming out, your soul songs. Anyway, but he says we went to hell and back just to find peace. This guy is singing this, and he said, "No side chick. I don't need a backer." He got to a place where he saw he doesn't need a backup. He doesn't need side things. You see, so I saw my dad who went to all sorts of other things instead of honoring the relationship with my mom. I won't go into the details. I'm just saying, you can use all sorts of things, even fake religion in a way. But what does it mean to honor a woman in a relationship, to protect her, to protect the relationship, to be single-minded of like, I'm going to love divine. And there's enough in that. There's enough. Tony Gaskins just did a video. I didn't watch it. I just saw the title called The Gifts a Faithful Woman Brings to a Man, or something like that. And so all of these, as I've been shifting more into this place of it's safe enough to be a woman. It's safe enough to be a woman. I don't have to be the man in my life anymore. I can let go and get in my body. And I've been dancing even more and singing. And I leave space for a man now to come into my life. A different kind of man, because I was married for a while, but in that, I think I had this dynamic still that all men were going to feel like they weren't enough. So that they were going to just keep looking, and you just had to share your man with all the other stuff that he's looking for, you know? And whatever that is, if it's like my dad would always watch the Cowboys and sports, the Dallas Cowboys, like football and stuff. And if they lost, he would be devastated. It's still this thing of he's getting his worth from this external thing because he doesn't know that he has a high calling and he is worth being here and he is worth not getting his worth from all these external things. And I am worth not getting my worth from a man who doesn't know how to be present with me and doesn't know how to protect me and protect the relationship. I'm not sharing my man anymore. Like, no way. And I said that to Elliot, and I said I wouldn't date him. I just chose not to if he was doing that. But the reality was I knew that in my head, but I didn't know that in my body yet. I didn't know that as a person. I just kept hoping that, I had this feeling as soon as Elliot would get aligned with God, as soon as he chose that, then we would work together and we would be together in some capacity, I chose to get married, to someone who checked off the boxes and looked like a Christian. And I thought, but, he turned atheist 3 years into our marriage and doesn't believe there is a God or that we have souls. And, I lived with that for a long time, thinking that I needed to be supportive of him. But then, it turns out our definitions of marriage are different. I'm not going to end all my personal stuff or his. I'm going to wrap this up. But learn how to shift in this place. Know that you are worth loving and protecting yourself by by knowing this and by aligning with this, and both men and women. All right. I wish you so much love.